Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Neurodivergent Ninja Tour episode 7. Yes, we're already into episode 7 of this series. We've been around the world, as a lot of you guys know. We did America, we've done Germany, we've done Belgium, we've done Austria, we've done France, we've done Japan. Nice little tour round. And the next one that we're going to be doing is quite an interesting circuit. You see, we talk a lot about the circuits that are good for racing drivers. But I want to ask you a question. Let's start thinking about the fans now, because there's more to it than just the track when it comes to the fans. And I'm not talking about the ones watching on TV because it looks good for everyone. I'm talking about the ones that are there at the circuit. You think about it when it comes to the fans. You want to. It's not just about the race and everything like that, but it's the experience of the entire environment. You want almost like a sort of a theme park. Seems a little bit childish, but almost you want stuff that you can enjoy after the racing's done and before the racing starts. So let's design ourselves a little bit of a track, hey? So, firstly, well, it's likelihood is you're traveling abroad, so it's like a bit of a holiday for you. So, let's have it where like it's against a beach or something like that. Okay, so we'll have a beach. We've got a nice little camping area, little bit of a city, but not too much. We don't want it to be overloaded. So, nice beach for you to enjoy once the racing is done. Okay. Maybe if the beach isn't for you, maybe some other sort of leisure activities, something like a bit of golf, maybe a bit of tennis, little things around, like a little bit of a holiday park. And look, you do still love your racing, so you still want a good racetrack. So something that's compact, something that's got some decent corners. Well, as you guys can see by this very accurate photo, this is a genuine. This is the Zandvoort circuit in the Netherlands. Now, a lot of you guys will know this. It's on the current calendar and pretty much there for Max Verstappen. We'll get on to that point later on. Now, people know that I'm a Hamilton fan and perhaps don't like Verstappen too much, but I do like the Zandvoort Grand Prix. In particular, there is one corner I adore more than anything else. This one. It is called the. Oh my goodness me! I apologise to any Dutch-speaking people because I know I'm going to get this wrong. It's called the Hugen Holtzbox corner. The Hugen Holtzbox corner. I think it's named after actually a guy called Hugen Holtzbox. But as you can see, it's a banked corner. Now, I don't know about you, a banked corner for me is one of the best things of a track because do you know the cool thing about it? You're almost going vertical. I think it goes up to like about 30-40 degrees driving. I mean, coolest thing about it, and the best thing about it is the fact that to drive faster, you drive further. So it's actually quite an interesting one that you can overtake on either side. It's a really, really cool corner. I adore it. Now, here's the thing. What we're going to do right now is we're going to look at the drivers that have won this race the most. And you guys are probably like going, well, it's Max. Like it's been around for like few years and he's won them all. Like Max Verstappen's got the most wins. And yes, he is in the top 4 of the drivers. Top 4. But somehow, Jackie Stewart, Jim Clark, and Nicky Lauda have more wins. Wait, hold up. Because I could have sworn this was a track that was on the calendar in, well, it wasn't even 2020, it was 2021 they did it, and like that, surely. Well, that's sort of correct, but Zandvoort has a lot more history and a lot more pedigree than that. In fact, Zandvoort was on the calendar from day one. It was there from the 50s. And that's why you have the drivers that have won it. In fact, just to show you, here is a picture of Zandvoort from the 60s, I believe it was. Same corner. That's just coming off the banking straight. This was a track that had a rich history, and people loved it back then. People loved it back then. In fact, the only reason why it dropped off the calendar in the 80s and didn't come back for 40 years was the fact that the business that looked after it went bankrupt. This is a very, very nice circuit and a very compact circuit. I love it. I love looking around it because the best thing about this track is the type of corners that this track has that makes it a challenge. You see, in Formula One, there are three types of corners. I know that there's hairpins and everything like that, but it essentially boils down to slow speed corners, medium speed corners, and high speed corners. Now, the thing is with high speed corners, it's normally they're pretty easy to drive around. You barely have to take your foot off the pedal, you are just driving round. When it comes to a slow corner, you just need to survive and just drive around it. You don't need to worry too much about anything else. But when it comes to a medium speed corner, that's when it gets interesting because medium speed corners, you need enough like slowness so that you can get around the corner safely, but you know you need to drive around there quick because that's where the time is lost and won. So this is the corners that make or break drivers. And I tell you something, there's a couple of high speed corners in Zandvoort. There's one low speed corner, but there are a hell of a lot of mid speed corners. This is a short track as well. It's about 1 minute 10 seconds, I think, for a Formula One car to drive around. It is driver's paradise. It is fans' paradise. I love watching it. I love watching the atmosphere. It is a beautiful place, beautiful part of the world, and a beautiful track. Fantastic. Now, but is there a problem with this track? Well, sort of. And this is where it comes down to something that's gonna be, well, based on this slide, you're probably gonna think it's me doing a bit of a Verstappen bashing. It is not. It's something a bit different. You see, the problem with Zandvoort is that it's it was on the calendar because of Max Verstappen. People in the Netherlands didn't really have that much of a desire for Formula One enough for it to be a race until their homeboy Max Verstappen was on the grid. And here's the problem. What's going to happen to Zandvoort when Max Verstappen is no longer in Formula One? Because he might seem like a robot, but he's a human being. At some point, he is going to retire from Formula One, like any human being. We have these emotional connections to drivers, but at some point, they leave. Sebastian Vettel, who everyone adored, left. There was a race that Daniel Ricciardo, who everyone adored, left. You know, we've got situations where Jenson Button, who people adored, left. And where does the passion come from afterwards? Now, here's the thing. British fans, so those for Silverstone, genuinely love Formula One for Formula One, right? No matter how long. There were times when there was no decent British driver on the grid. During those times that Michael Schumacher dominated everything, Silverstone was still a place where people wanted to go. You look at Brazil. For a long time, there wasn't even a Brazilian Formula One driver. And actually, there isn't now. But Brazil is still a passion for sport, and the fans still want to be there. So can't even imagine the Sao Paulo Grand Prix ever leaving. In terms of the let's throw another one in there, the Belgian Grand Prix. Do you remember the last time there was a Belgian driver? Yeah, I know Max Verstappen technically is one, but no, there hasn't been. But it's still a track people go to. Suzuka. Yes, we've got Yuki Tsunoda, but for a long time we didn't have a Japanese driver. We still had the Japanese Grand Prix. At the time that there was no Dutch driver, there was no Dutch Grand Prix. In fact, even the last Dutch driver that probably was there permanently in Jos Verstappen, there was no Dutch Grand Prix. The passion, is it there? And the question is, if Max goes, does Zandvoort go? I hope not. I really do hope not, because I do love this track. I do love the atmosphere. And yes, I'm not a big fan of flares of any colour because of the fact that it impacts on the visibility. But the way that this track has been designed is for the fans. In fact, this is a weird thing. It's one of the greenest places on earth because you're not allowed to drive a. I can't believe I'm about to say this about a Formula One track. You're not allowed to drive a car to the track. It's bike or bus. It is brilliant. It's honestly the area is probably one of the greenest places in the world because of that. But that's what we're talking about. It is, again, don't want to make it childish. It is a Formula One theme park. It's a holiday camp. It's a place you want to go. I would love to go to Zandvoort for that. It's in the top 5 places. Bettered only by Singapore and Silverstone and Monza and Brazil. Those are the only 4 tracks that I would pick to go to over Zandvoort. Yeah, a theme park. I can't believe I'm saying it, but yes, a theme park. It's got a beach. It's got leisure activities around it. It is a place that you would go for a holiday with a side of a Formula One thrown in. Please, to the organisers, to the fans, stay connected to the sport when Max leaves, because I want this to stay. Like I say, it's a driver's paradise. It's a fan's paradise. It is the TV director's paradise because of the way it's designed. It's an amazing place. Please keep it. Anyways, that's Zandvoort. I bet you probably were expecting a Max Verstappen bashing or anything like that. There was none of that, was there? Let's see which track we're going to go to next. Here is our list of names. I'm starting to see the names. Let's see where we're going next. We are going to Sebring. Going back to America, land of the free, unless you're this, and this, and then you're not free. So, guys, we are going to be doing Sebring for episode 8. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. In the meantime, feel free to like, subscribe, and make any comments of what you think in regards to the Zandvoort Grand Prix. and I will be seeing you soon. Take care, everyone.